It's an undeniable law to abandon place. These forgotten relics of the past often carry an air of mystery and intrigue, and it's an adventurous souls to explore their forgotten corridors and crumbling facades. From eerie ghost towns to haunted silence and decaying castles, the world is stuffed with fascinating abandoned sites. In this video, we present 9 captivating abandoned places from around the globe, each with its own unique history and atmosphere. Number 1. Pripyat, Ukraine. Pripyat is a city located in northern Ukraine near the border with Belarus. Its history is closely intertwined with the construction and subsequent tragedy of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Pripyat was found on February 4, 1917 to accommodate the workers and their families who were involved in the construction and operation of the Chernobyl power plant, one of the largest nuclear power plants in the Soviet Union. The city was built to be a modern Soviet city, boasting modern amenities, cultural facilities, and housing for its residents. For the first 60 years of its existence, Pripyat thrived as a vibrant and prosperous city. It had a population of around 49,000 people and offered a high standard of living. The city was known for its well-planned infrastructure, numerous recreational areas, and strong community spirit. However, on April 26, 1986, Pripyat and its residents faced an unimaginable disaster. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant, located just a few kilometers away, experienced a catastrophic accident, resulting in a massive explosion and the release of a significant amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. The immediate aftermath led to the evacuation of Pripyat's population. The evacuation process was swift but challenging, as the dangers of the radiation were not fully understood at the time. Residents were instructed to leave their homes and belongings behind, expecting to return after a few days. However, due to the severity of the accident and the subsequent contamination, the city was permanently abandoned. Today, Pripyat stands as a haunted reminder of the Chernobyl disaster. The city is largely inhabited and has begun an eerie ghost town frozen in time. The abandoned buildings and overgrown streets attract tourists and researchers from around the world, offering a glimpse into the tragic history of nuclear power and its devastating consequences. Efforts have been made to contain and mitigate the radioactive contamination in the area, and a 30-kilometer exclusion zone surrounding the Chernobyl power plant restricts access to the general public. Pripyat, once a symbol of progress and modernity, now serves a poignant testament to potential dangers associated with the nuclear technology. Number 2. Hashima Island. Hashima Island, also known as Janganjima or Battleship Island, is a small island off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan. The island was first used for the coal mining in the late 1800 by the Mitsubishi Corporation, and by the early 1900, it had become one of the most densely populated places in the world, with over 5,000 people living on a small land area. During World War II, the island was used as a forced labor camp for Korean and Chinese prisoners who were made to work in the coal mines. After the war, the island was returned to Mitsubishi, which continued to operate the mines until the 1970s when the coal industry declined. The island was then abandoned and left to decay for decades, and it gained fame as a popular tourist destination and a symbol of Japan's industrial heritage. In 2015, it was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site as part of the site of Japan's Meiji Industry Revolution, iron and steel, shipbuilding, and coal mining listing. Today, Hashima Island is a popular destination for tourists who come to explore its abandoned buildings and learn about its fascinating history. However, access to the island is restricted, and visitors are only allowed to explore certain parts of its on guide tours. Number 3. Krakow, Italy. Krakow is a small medieval town located in the Basilicata region of southern Italy. Its history dates back to ancient times, with evidence of human settlements in the area since the 8th century BC. Over the centuries, Krakow experienced various influences and underwent significant changes. During the medieval period, Krakow flourished as a federal town under the control of different noble families. The town's strategic location atop is that it provides natural defensive advantages, making it an important stronghold in the region. Krakow grew in prominence and its population increased steadily. In the 16th century, Krakow faced a devastating earthquake that caused considerable damage to the town. However, it was quickly rebuilt and continued to thrive. The town's architecture reflects its medieval parts, with narrow winding streets, fortified walls, and ancient stone buildings. In the following centuries, Krakow faced numerous challenges, including economic hardships and population decline. Many inhabitants left the town in search of better opportunities elsewhere, particularly during the late 19th and early 20th century, when immigration from Italy was widespread. Despite these difficulties, Krakow maintained its unique character and charm. The town's striking appearance attracts filmmakers, and it served as a bedrock for several notable films, including The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson. Unfortunately, in the mid-20th century, Krakow faced a series of natural disasters, including landslides and earthquakes. These events led to the gradual abandonment of the town as civic concerns grew. The last residents were forced to leave in 1991. The Krakow became a ghost town. Today, Krakow stands as a uniquely beautiful and airy place, attracting tourists and photographers from around the world. Efforts have been made to preserve its history and architectural significance, and the town has been designated national monument by the Italian government. The captivating ruins of Krakow serve as a reminder of its rich history and the challenges faced by its former inhabitants. Although the town remains uninhabited, it continues to captivate visitors with its timeless beauty and offer a glimpse into a bygone era. Number 4. Kolamskov in Namibia. Kolamskov is a ghost town located in the Namib Desert near the port town of Lingers in Namibia. Its history dates back to the early 20th century, when diamonds were discovered in the area. In 1908, a river walker named Zacharias Liwala stumbled upon a sparkling stone while shoveling sand near the river line. The stone turned out into a diamond, and the news spread quickly. Soon, fortune seekers from all over the world flocked to the region in search of their own riches. As the diamond race intensified, a German mining corporation known as Deutsche Diamond and Gesellschaft established a diamond mining settlement in the desert. The town was named Kolamskov after a transport driver named Johnny Coleman, who abandoned his house regularly during a sandstorm. The settlement quickly grew into a bustling and prosperous town. Europeans like houses were built and amenities such as hospital, ballroom, power station, school, and even an ice factory were established. The German colony authorized invest in infrastructure, making Kolamskov a center of German engineering and agriculture in the desert. The town reached its peak in the 1920s, when it was producing a significant amount of diamonds. However, as the diamond deposits started to deplete, the profitability of the mines declined. In addition, during World War I, the diamond market was dissipated, further impeding the industry in Kolamskov. By the late 1913s, the diamond fields were nearly exhausted, and the operations were moved further south. As a result, the once thriving town started to decline rapidly. Residents began leaving Kolamskov, seeking better prospects elsewhere. Over time, the Namib Desert relentless winds encroached on the abandoned buildings, filling them with sand. The town gradually fell into a state of despair and became a ghost town, swallowed by the desert. In the 1918s, the Namibian government declared Kolamskov a national monument and initiated efforts to preserve and restore some of the buildings. Today, it serves as a popular tourist attraction, offering visitors a glimpse into the past and the opportunity to explore. The hauntingly beautiful ruins of what was once diamond mining boom town in the desert. Number 5. Borden, USA. Borden, California is a historic ghost town located in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains. Its history dates back to 1859 when gold was discovered in the area by a group of prospectors led by William S. Borden. News of the gold strike quickly spread, and Borden soon became a bustling mining town. By the 1817, it had grown into a prosperous community with a population of around 10,000 people. The town had numerous salons, gambling halls, general stores, and other businesses to cater to the needs of the miners and their families. Borden was notorious for its lawlessness and rough reputation. It had a high crime rate with frequent clashes between rival factions and outlawed gangs. Shootouts and violence were not uncommon, and the town gained a reputation as one of the wildest and most dangerous places in the West. Despite the challenges, Borden thrived for several decades. However, as the gold mining industry began to decline in the late 19th century, the population gradually started to dwindle. By the early 20th century, Borden was in decline, and by the 1914, it began a virtual ghost town. In the 1962, Borden was designated a state historic park, preserving its remaining buildings and artifacts. Today, Borden stands as a well-preserved ghost town, providing visitors with a glimpse into the past. The buildings, including homes, businesses, and even the town's jail, still remaining in a state of arresting decay, offering a unique and haunting experience. Borden has become a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who came to explore its historic buildings, walk its desert streets, and learn about its fascinating past. The town serves as a testament to the challenges and hardship faced by those who sought their fortune in the gold rush era, and offer a glimpse into a bygone era of the American West. Number 6. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. Oradour-sur-Glane is a small village located in the Limousin region of France. Its history took a tragic turn during World War II. On June 10, 1944, just a few days after the Allied invasion of Normandy, the village was the site of a horrific massacre at the hands of the German Waffen-SS. On that fateful day, a German SS division arrived in Oradour-sur-Glane, believing it to be a center of resistance activity. However, the village was actually peaceful and devoid of any significant resistance. The SS troops proceeded to round up the villagers, separating the men from the women and children. The men were hurled into bands and shot, while the women and children were locked inside the village church, which was then set ablaze. In today, 40 innocent men, women, and children were brutally murdered. Only a handful of individuals managed to escape and survive. After the massacre, the village of Oradour-sur-Glane was left in ruins. The French government made the decision to preserve the site as a memorial and testimony to the atrocity of war. The original village was left untouched as a poignant reminder of the tragic events that unfold. Today, Oradour-sur-Glane stands as a powerful memorial and museum, attracting visitors from all over the world. The preserved village serves as a symbol reminder of the horrors of war and the devastating impact it had on innocent lives. It stands as a symbol of remembrance and a call for peace, ensuring that the memory of the victims, the tragedy they endured, will never be forgotten. Number 7. Varusha, Cyprus. Varusha is a district located in the city of Famagusta on the eastern coast of Cyprus. It has a complex and tumultuous history that spans several decades. In the mid-20th century, Varusha flourished as a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from all over the world with its stunning beaches, luxurious hotels, and vibrant nightlife. It was known as the jewel of the Mediterranean and was considered one of the most prestigious resorts in the region. However, in 1974, Cyprus was divided after a military intervention by Turkey in response to a call aimed at uniting the island with Greece. As a result, Varusha fell under the control of the Turkish military, and its Greek Cypriot inhabitants were forced to flee their homes. The area was subsequently fenced out and placed under the control of the Turkish Republic called Northern Cyprus, which is recognized only by Turkey. Since then, Varusha has remained largely abandoned and frozen in time. The once thriving resort district has become a ghost town, with its luxurious hotel and buildings left untouched for nearly 5 decades. The empty street and decaying structure serve as a handy reminder of the unresolved conflict between the Greek and Turkish communities on the island. Over the years, there have been occasional attempts to find a solution for the reunification of Cyprus and the reopening of Varusha. However, political tensions, territorial disputes, and differing visions for the future have hindered progress. The area has become a symbol of the deep division and unresolved conflicts that still exist on the island. In recent years, there have been renewed international efforts to revive negotiations and find a peaceful solution for the Cyprus problem. The reopening of Varusha has been a topic of discussion, with various proposals and plans put forward. However, the situation remains complex and sensitive, and the future of Varusha continues to be uncertain. Number 8. Hammerstone and Santa Laura, Chile. Hammerstone and Santa Laura were two historically significant mining towns located in the Atacama Desert of northern Chile. They were part of the nitrate mining industry that thrived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The history of Hammerstone and Santa Laura begins in the late 19th century, when large deposits of nitrate, a valuable mineral used in fertilizers and explosives, were discovered in the Atacama Desert. The exploration of these nitrate deposits led to the rapid growth of mining towns in the region, including Hammerstone and Santa Laura. Hammerstone was formed in 1872 by James Thomas Hammerstone, an English immigrant who recognized the potential of the nitrate industry. The town quickly grew into a bustling community with a population of several thousand people. It became known for its large nitrate processing plants, which employed numerous workers and played a crucial role in the country's economy. Similarly, Santa Laura was established nearby in 1915 by the British nitrate king John Thomas North. The town was named after his wife Laura. Santa Laura featured modern and advanced infrastructure for the time, including a railway system, a water supply, and recreational facilities for the workers. During their peak, Hammerstone and Santa Laura were thriving mining towns, with thousands of workers from various backgrounds living and working there. This town had all the necessary amenities, such as schools, hospital, theaters, and even a social club, providing a decent quality of life for the workers and their families. However, the prosperity of Hammerstone and Santa Laura began to decline in the early 20th century. The invention of synthetic fertilizer and the onset of World War I led to a decrease in the demand for nitrate. As a result, many nitrate mines and towns in the Atacama Desert started facing economic hardships. By the 1913s, the nitrate industry of Hammerstone and Santa Laura had collapsed completely. The towns were gradually abandoned, leaving behind a ghostly reminder of their once vibrant past. Today, Hammerstone and Santa Laura are recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, preserving their unique industry and heritage and providing visitors with a glimpse into the nitrate mining era of Chile. This ghost town serves as a testament to the boom and subsequent decline of the nitrate industry in Chile, reminding us of the economic and social impact of this once thriving mining sector. The 9. Rhode Island, India. Rhode Island, located in the Andaman and Nicobar Island of India, holds a significant place in the region's history. Its history begins during the colonial era when the British East India Company established its presence in the Andaman Islands. The British developed the island with various facilities, including government office, a church, a hospital, a barracks, a swimming pool, and luxurious residence for the British officials and their families. The island boasts a vibrant social life with clubs and recreational activities. During its peak, Rhode Island was often referred to as the Paris of the East, due to its lavish infrastructure and European-style architecture. The British cultivated gardens, importing exotic plants and flowers, transforming the island into a beautiful tropical paradise. However, the tranquility of Rhode Island was shattered during World War II. In 1942, the Japanese force invaded the Andaman and Nicobar Island, capturing Rhode Island along with several other tragic locations. The British, recognizing the vulnerability of their position, evacuated the island residents and abandoned it to the occupying force. Under the Japanese control, Rhode Island became a prisoner of war camp, where captured Indian soldiers and local residents were held captive. The island suffered heavy bombings during the war, resulting in significant damage to its infrastructure. After the end of World War II, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands were returned to British control. However, the British decided not to reclaim Rhode Island, as they had already shifted their administrative headquarters to Port Blair. Over time, nature reclaimed the island, with thick vegetation including the remains of its colonial past. Today, Rhode Island stands as a handy reminder of a bygone era. It has been designed a protected area and is now managed by the Indian government as a part of the Rhode Island Marine Park.